What's up, everyone? It's your girl. I am Kaya, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're talking Love Island Games Season 2, Episode 8. Really interesting episode. It was very tense. Like, you can cut the tension through the screen, like, literally. Like, I was like on the edge of my seat. Crazy who went home, but you know what? At this point, I'm not surprised. I'm not mad at it because they were a big target to know. So I'm a little upset with KK going home. Chris, and I don't know. Chris been acting brand new this whole entire season. So but I didn't want him there because I just wanted to see if he was going to keep putting his foot in his mouth. But KK, I'm going to miss her. I love her so much. So KK will dearly be missed. And now with KK gone, that means Keenan can't make an appearance because what's the point of bringing Keenan if KK's not there? But anyway, before I get into my recap, because I know I'm jumping all the way to the end, like, comment, share, and subscribe, y'all. Thank you guys for showing love to my last video. Keep showing love to my other videos. Again, I'm going to be here all season long. So continue to engage, continue to comment, continue to share my channel. Again, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend about my channel. Tell them we have fun over here. But is there anything else? Nope. Let's go ahead and get into this episode. So let's go ahead and get into this recap, you guys. So you guys know the episode started off like how it ended last week, ending up the heart rate challenges, and Johnny and Drina, KK and Chris, and Andrea and Toby, they're all vulnerable because they raised the heart rates the least, which I still don't believe them heart rate challenges results because I don't understand how the hell Justine and Josh, both of them didn't raise nobody's heartbeat, but yet they wasn't at the bottom of that totem pole. Something ain't sit right with me. But anyway, we move on. But anyway, so it jumps over to Isaiah and Sydney having they didn't have their chat like they were supposed to be having, but they just embrace each other. At the moment, don't seem like there's any bad blood, but they haven't seen each other in almost like a year and a half, 2 years. And so they're just talking about how he says how she looks good, she says how he looks good, and she says how she's a whole different person. And Isaiah did this long pause because he's thinking, yeah, you look like a totally different person. Because I swear to God, y'all, like Isaiah did not know that that was Sydney. Like he literally had to do a double take. And that's how you know. Like if your boyfriend has to do a double take on you to see if that's really you, honey, you've done too much to yourself. Now, again, like I said last week, I didn't watch Isaiah and Sydney season. So, but I did see old photos of them together. And Sydney, again, definitely has it's not just the hair, it's just she lost weight, and it seems like she's gotten some more it seems to me she's gotten some more work done to her face. I don't know what it is, but it seems like that to me. I don't know what it is. So yeah, so they just said that they're gonna just talk about it later. And that's what I was anticipating this episode because I'm thinking, okay, this episode we're gonna get Sydney and Isaiah having a talk. They didn't have it. So hopefully they get a talk soon because like, bitch, what the fuck is the point of you being here if we're not gonna see y'all converse with each other? So yeah, that happens. And then so Sydney's talking to Lucinda and Andrea, and then Lucinda asks, how long her and Isaiah was together. She says a year. And they ask, how did it end? And she says, well, it didn't really end well because he cheated on me. So she says that even though he cheated, she doesn't think he's a bad person. She just thinks that he was just very young and very stupid. And that could be a factor. A lot of guys like do that. A lot of people in general do that when they're young and stupid. They like cheating and everything like that. And from the way I'm seeing Isaiah right now, he seems like he is very mature. He doesn't seem childish to me. So maybe he did a lot of growing. Again, I'm not aware of how he was before. If he really was like F boy vibes before, I'm not seeing it right now. So he seems like he has grown, and people can change and everything like that when you go through stuff like that. But we jump over to Chris and KK. They're just talking and about them, how they were the power couple, and now all of a sudden they're in the bottom three and there's a risk of them can go home. Meanwhile, while they're talking, Marvin comes and pulls KK for a chat. And KK like really is like into Marvin. I think KK is just into, KK's how you take KK loves her some tall chocolate men. That's what she loves. So KK and Marvin go and talking to the speakeasy. Now KK's gone home, but I really at this point really didn't see much with KK and Marvin. I just didn't see it. I just think she was always, if there was a chance, she was gonna always just go right back to Chris because she sees herself being more so with Chris than she sees herself being with Tyreek or Marvin. Let's just be honest. That's just what I feel like it is. So while everybody is downstairs talking, all of a sudden Nicola gets a text. So her and Isaiah, since they were the power couple, they're gonna spend a night in the hideaway. And I'm thinking, okay, but it's like But this was it was a point for them to be messy because I just don't understand like why you wasting a hideaway on Nicola and Isaiah when there's nothing romantic going on between them. And both of them talking about some, oh, you never know what could happen down there. Like I just didn't believe anything romantic was gonna happen between them. But Nicola's just happy because they're able to get away and just chill, so they think. So they get Isaiah. They tell Isaiah, well, Isaiah wants to change, and they're telling him to keep his clown suit on. It's like it just blow my mind that he was still wearing that clown costume. Nicola is putting on her like Victoria's Secret's best. She looked really, really cute. And they go over to the hideaway, to be eat that kitty in the hideaway. I'm just playing, they ain't gonna eat that kitty in the hideaway. Nothing happened in the hideaway. Being messy happened in the hideaway. So Nicola and Isaiah, they go off to the hideaway, and then everybody is getting, ready for bed. And but before everyone gets ready for bed, because I almost skipped over this. So Sydney, she pulls her and Toby have a little talk. And apparently they have a little history, quote unquote. So they saw each other at the Love Island game season 1 premiere. And apparently they had like a kiss. And I'm thinking, okay, like so they ran past each other. So is this like some kind of foreshadowing that she wants to build something up with Toby? And honestly and truthfully, that would be good for him because to me, it doesn't seem like Andrea wants to be with Toby because she says that her kissing Toby made her realize she really does like Josh. So it seems like Andrea's comfortable right now with Josh, and if Toby just wants to have his fun, I mean, hey, try to make something work out with Sydney, but you need to make sure that she's completely and truly over Isaiah before you do any of that, right? So everybody is winding down. They're getting ready for bed and they're sleeping. So they flash over to the hideaway, and Isaiah and Nicola, they're over there. They're just toasting and cheersing to being the power couple and them doing well in the challenge. And then all of a sudden, both of them get it. Well, I think Isaiah gets a text. And it says that Isaiah and Nicola, now that they are the power couple, there's going to be another duel. So they have to choose two people, two guys and two girls, from each couple to see who's going to duel each other. So to the two guys got to go against each other, and the two girls got to go against each other. And the one guy and the one girl that loses will get dumped from the island immediately. So both of them immediately when they got that, both of them was not feeling good. Like both of them felt like shit because being in that position, you're gonna piss somebody off. So they got to choose between KK, Andrea, and Andrina. They have to pick which two girls are going to battle each other in the duel, and then one girl's going to be safe. And then with Johnny, Chris, and Toby, out of the three guys, which two guys are going to battle each other, and which one guy is going to be safe. Now, immediately now, in my mind, I'm thinking this should be very, very, very smart decision because KK and Chris, like even though the heart rate challenge was not like anything physical or nothing like where you had to do math and puzzles, nothing like that. It was just a heart rate challenge. It was like just you kind of shit the bed if you just, but then people were playing strategically, not trying to get their heart rate up. So it's like that way, I still think KK and Chris were going to be the strongest couple there. So in my opinion, it's like, okay, you got to put Chris and KK in there at some point. And then I immediately thought Johnny, and then I was thinking get Andrina out because y'all saw how she did last time, so it could have been easy. But immediately I'm thinking, okay, if you guys want to have a chance of winning the $250,000, the people that you need to put down there is KK and Chris. Like, even though I love KK, it's like, honey, KK is a really good competitor and she's shown it from time and time again so far. So immediately while Isaiah and Nicola, they're trying to figure out who they're gonna put in. And I'm thinking it's gonna be really easy. But apparently they were arguing, like they were over distressing because Nicola, of course, from last episode, she has a really big crush on Chris because Chris is the only guy so far in the villa that showed her any attention, showing her that he's interested in her, and that's something she wants to build a connection with because again Isaiah don't see anything romantic with her, so nothing romantic can happen with them. I mean, shit, we never know if they stay together, if there's going to be some kind of recoupling and they apparently stay together. Who knows if something romantic happened, but as of right now I don't see, especially now with Sydney in the house, we just don't know what's going to happen. So Nicola at first. Now I'm thinking she just says, "Well, I have a good connection with Chris." So Isaiah is confused as to why she wants to save Chris, and then I think that's where the argument starts. So, and then we didn't find out till later, like who she really wanted to put, like what she really wanted to happen. But as of right now, they're just like montaging them, like arguing back and forth of who they want to put in. So then and it's mainly just with the guys. Now we didn't really see much with the girls. I think the only reason they said that Andrina, that they already saw her in a duel and she didn't do good. So it kind of, they said, okay, it just makes sense, to put her back down there. But I think they was just stuck of who they wanted to put in because they didn't want to piss nobody off because they built great friendships with each person in each couple. So in any way they're going to piss somebody off. But then at the end of the day, you got to remember this is Love Island games. Somebody has only person, one couple is going to win that $250,000, or one person if they decide to split it or steal it. Who knows? One person is going to win the money. So it's like y'all got to stop thinking about like friendships. Y'all got to start thinking strategically and seeing, do you guys want strong people with y'all in the end? So no, y'all want that. So yeah, so with Nicola, like when she wanted, I feel like, and I think that's what I was worried about, that she was gonna want to keep Chris in the game because she had a connection with him, because she, as at the moment, she has no romantic connection. And it's like, honey, you got to get that out of your head and you got to start thinking about the money. So yeah, so it jumps over, and they said that they've locked in after, I don't know how long they deliberated. They didn't tell us that, but apparently from Nicola and Isaiah, they said that they argued a lot. So we don't know how long it took for them to figure out who they were gonna put down. So they figure out how it is, and then go to the next morning where everybody's waking up. And then when they go outside to get ready for breakfast, they see that there is like a big ass duel match outside in the front. And no one's happy. Well, the vulnerable couples, none of the vulnerable couples are happy, because they're like, wait, we got to do this shit early in the morning. And it's like, now mind you, again, they don't get that much sleep, so who knows what was going through their head. So everybody is downstairs getting ready, and what I want to say is almost every single person has pimple patches. It's like, what is going on in that villa? Like, everybody breaking out? Like, is this shit stressing y'all out, or is it that Fiji heat? I don't know what that is, but I just noticed that Tyreek had it. What's that girl named Lucinda had it, and Drina had it. Like, everybody got pimple patches on. Like, what is going on? But anyway, so everybody's outside and they're around the duel. So then they end up getting a text by each person. I said Texas, sorry y'all. They get text by each person. So someone gets a text and they said, so Islanders, Nicola and Isaiah, as the power couple, had to choose two guys and two girls from each vulnerable couple to go in a duel. So it's going to be a double duel today. And the losers from each round, the one girl and the one guy that loses, will immediately be dumped from the villa. So they get a text and they show that the two guys that they want to go against each other is Chris and Johnny. And the two girls they want to go against each other is Andrea and KK. Now, I was surprised when I was like, I just kept knowing, because they kind of spoiled it for us anyway, because somebody said, oh, this is going to be like the strongest match in Love Island history. So I knew it wasn't going to be Toby. Like, it had to be Johnny and Chris. Like, if it was smart for them to put Johnny and Chris down there, because that's going to be that's everybody's biggest competition, is Johnny and Chris. Because Johnny, because he made it to the final last season, and Chris, because he showed so far that he is the strongest guy there. So didn't like so I don't think nobody's batting an eyelash over Toby, to be honest with you, because he really hasn't been doing well since he got here. So I don't think nobody's really caring about what Toby is doing. So yeah, so I already kind of knew it was gonna be Chris and Johnny. I just didn't know who was gonna be. I had a feeling it was gonna be KK if they were smart, but I just didn't think who they were gonna pick. So that was a surprise to me. But they pick Andrea and KK to go against each other. And Andrea and KK are immediately upset because they're best friends. And I'm like, best friends? Like, how long have y'all known each other? And all of a sudden, y'all best friends? Like, y'all on Love Island, y'all do that. Y'all use that word so loosely, and y'all end up getting y'all feelings hurt. Like, y'all saw what happened with Huda and Shelly, calling each other best friends and shit like that. And now them two don't talk to each other. Just saying. But anyway, so now now Andrina and Toby, they're safe, so they're not battling. So it's gonna be KK versus Andrea and Chris versus Johnny. So they all are like trying to get themselves together and prepare. But of course, Chris is upset because he says that Isaiah is his friend, and if he was in Isaiah's position, he wouldn't do that. It's like, Chris, like, if you were in Isaiah's position, you wouldn't want to get the strongest person out of here. I mean, you got to think about that and everything like that. But so yes, they're mad, and KK is also mad because well, I don't think. Well, I think it's more so Chris was mad because of the friendship, because Isaiah was supposed to be his boy, and KK was also mad. I don't think she was technically mad, but just in the moment, it's a chance she has to go home. So I just think like Chris in the moment was doing just way, way, way too much, and KK, I don't think she took it that much personal, but in the heat of the moment, that's what's gonna happen. So we can jump over to Johnny and Andrina. They're talking at the dock, and Andrina is crying. Like, girl, like Andrina was crying damn near all this whole entire episode. Like, Andrina, I love you, sis, but please stop with the tears. Like, she was kind of doing, she was sort of kind of doing this last season, but this season she's doing it more than ever, and it's getting on my nerves. But yeah, so she's crying because she doesn't want Johnny to leave, because they're building something up. And then we jump over to Nicola and Isaiah. Now they're still in the hideaway, and they're just talking about how they feel like shit, and they just didn't want to be in this position. It sucks being in that position, but they had to make a decision, and they have to, go back into the villa, and they got to face the people that they had to put up. So speaking of that, so they get back into the villa. So the hideaway doors open. They walk in, and you can just tell it's like very, very tense. but it's really more so tense with KK and Chris. Now Johnny and Andrea, because Johnny immediately like understands that that's like, it's a game and that's what he has to do. So Johnny just knows that he said, hey, I just got to do what I got to do. And he said there was no hard feelings. Same thing with Andrea. She gives Nicola a hug and said there's no hard feelings. I don't feel bad. I just feel bad. I have to go against my best friend. So in the meanwhile, while Nicola goes over there to talk to KK, Chris, and some other people, I think Garby was over there too. KK immediately gets up and Nicola is explaining that she didn't agree with putting Chris down there. She wanted somebody else. She so basically saying when it came to the guys picking, she was trying to say the reason why the guys are who they are is because mainly because Isaiah. I think she was mainly trying to put the blame on Isaiah. But when she said it came to the girls, she took she says that she picked the girls. Maybe that was her. So maybe her and Isaiah had agreement that he was going to pick for the guys and she was going to pick for the girls. I'm not sure. So it jumps over and Isaiah tries to walk over and tries to pull Chris for a talk. Chris immediately says no. Chris is in his confessional, in all in his feelings, talking about some, he better hope, and him and Nicola better hope he doesn't come into this house because he's gonna be a whole different Chris. Like, aren't you already a whole different Chris? Because Chris, this isn't the Chris we saw last season. Like, you came in here acting like way brand new. And like I understand, like Chris has made a point that he's here for the money, but it's like you are just taking it like entirely too far. Like I know it's the money, but it's like, dude, you got to understand this is a game perspective. Like you were just in the position when you had to put up Solene and Mert, and they ended up going home. So it's just like you gotta just go in there, gotta do what you gotta do. So then KK is over. I forgot where she was at, and Nicola tries to go over there and tries to talk to KK, and then KK says that she doesn't want to talk. And I'm thinking, okay, Nicola, just give her space and just let her come down, because the one thing I didn't want to do is KK go off on her, because you know how the internet is going to be when a black woman go off on somebody. So I'm actually glad that KK was very calm and just told her, I just really don't want to talk. Let me just prepare for this duel and let me just be to myself. But you can tell that Nicola just, and then Nicola's crying and she feels bad because she didn't want to be in this position. But it's like, honey, that's what happens when you choose to be in a competition. And so yeah, so basically tensions are very, very high, but it's mainly just from KK and Chris' perspective. For me, from Andrea and Johnny, they seem like they were just chilling, just preparing themselves in there. KK and Chris were not. So then, everybody's like, trying to prepare themselves. We jump over to the makeup room. Andrea and KK is crying. Nicola is crying. Like, so many people are crying. Andrea and KK telling them that we're best friends and I don't want to go. So again, like best friends, like seriously best friends, like stop it. So yeah, so then we get over to it's time for the duel. Now instead of pink and yellow, they have yellow and blue, which was very, very, very cute. So then everybody is just sitting around waiting, and you can just tell it's still so much tension because Chris and KK and Johnny and mainly Johnny, Andrea, I don't know what she was doing. They are just laser focused because they want to win so they cannot be vulnerable. So then we have Ariana who then shows up. So we got the duel. So before they started, Ariana comes in. She has to do her thing where she has to introduce new bombshells, and she asks them, how they're feeling. And Ariana asks Isaiah and Nicola, what was their decision as why they picked who they picked. So Isaiah had I think it had Isaiah had no, it wasn't Isaiah. Sorry, skirt. I don't think Isaiah really said much. I think he just said, it's a fucked up position to be in. Nicola says that she didn't agree that it should have been Chris versus Johnny. She wanted either Toby versus Johnny or Toby versus Chris. But if you ask me, I feel like she was pushing more for Johnny versus Chris. But I think when it came to Isaiah, he was thinking strategically. He was like, listen, these two are the strongest guys here, and we have to take them out. So that's how it came to that conclusion. But Nicholas said they couldn't agree on that one. So that's how it happened. Then they asked her about Andrea and how she picked Andrea and KK to go against each other. And she I thought she was gonna say because they were gonna be evenly matched, but then she just ended up saying, wasn't really nobody to choose from. But I just think it's because they're evenly matched and they already seen Andrina get embarrassed in a duel and they just didn't want to do it again. So I think that's what Nicola was thinking. That's what I'm feeling. But she didn't really say that. But she just basically said because it wasn't a lot of people to choose from, so I just had to choose two people. I mean, what you can say that, but it's like I think you should have just said it's because Andrea and KK are the two but one of the most athletic ones there. That's what she really should have said. But I don't think but Nicola, she's just so sweet. She's not that blunt to me. Well, in these kind of situations, she's not really that blunt. So then she goes off and says something like she feels bad that Andrea and KK got to go against each other because they are best friends. She says that she feels bad and she rather be in their position, which I hate when people say that shit. Like I hate when there's money on the line. I hate when people be like, "I much rather be in your position. I'd rather be up there than you got and you be safe." Like I hate no. When there's money on the line, $250,000. When there's money on the line like that, it's all bets are off. Like you guys understand that this is a game. So I would never in my life say I would rather be in a position where there's a chance of me going home and I can't continue to fight for the money. And she had said that like more than once, and she kept pissing me off every time she kept saying that. It's like, sweetheart, like stop saying it. Because if you really want to take her spot, you can go and take her spot, honey. Because if you are willing to give up money, then why are you here? But I don't know. But yeah, like I hate, but she don't say it too because Kendall said that too early in the season, and I hated that too. Like I just hate when people say stuff like that. They rather go home when you have so much money that you're fighting for. So then we start off. So Ariana started explaining the rules of the game. So there's gonna be a duel, and there's like little blocks. There's two yellow blocks and there's two blue blocks. KK is on the KK and Chris are yellow, and Andrea and Johnny are blue. So a weighted bag is gonna drop in the middle of the duel, and the two have to wrestle for it to get it in their color block, and they have 45 seconds to get it there into their zone, and whoever has it in their zone or whoever has the majority in their zone wins that round. So it's best out of 3 rounds. So the first we have the girls to go up is Andrea and KK. So immediately I was thinking, now I ain't gonna lie, I kind of knew that Andrea was gonna win. Andrea won. I kind of knew Andrea was gonna win because Andrea seems like she's way more in shape than KK because we saw that with the first challenge. So, but I did like that KK did put up a fight that first round. So they start going, and her and KK like have a really good round, but essentially Andrea was able to get the bag in her zone. So they go to round two. So they run in there, and KK did something like Andrea is like literally pulling the bag into her zone, and KK is just sitting there waiting it out. And I think that's where she messed up at because she let Andrea, she like Andrea was like in like the back corner, like she was way in the corner. And I think KK let Andrea get to that corner too much, and she was able to stay right there. And that whole time, KK was struggling to pull her out. And I think immediately, KK, you should have ran in there and immediately started fighting with her. Get the bag in your zone and should have stayed right there and did what she did. But KK, like I think she had a strategy and it just did not work. And then we saw how much it felt because she barely could pull Andrea. And I don't know if she was just out of breath or if Andrea just really is that strong. I don't know. But essentially, time ran out. Andrea still had it in her zone, so Andrea won both rounds. So Andrea wins. KK immediately is upset. I was so sad for her. She starts crying and everything like that. I felt so bad, but it's like, Andrea won. It's sad that KK, she's going out this early because I was expecting to see her. I kind of expect her to be at the finale, but she's gone. That's my boo. Yeah, this round, yeah, KK, like, well, this second round, I don't know what KK was doing, like, because she was losing her shoes. She was taking her shoes off, and I was like, honey, you don't ever take shoes off in something like this because you're gonna be sliding all over the place. I'm like, girl, no. But yeah, this second round just didn't look good for her. But yeah, so Andrea wins and she stays, and of course, both of them are crying and saying because they're best friends and everything like that. Again, with this best friend shit. And then, so they have to sit down. So Andrea stays, KK is dumped from the island. The next round, we have the main event, which is Johnny and Chris. Now, going into this, I'm thinking, okay, Chris is gonna win. Like Chris is gonna win because he plays basketball, so he got them strong legs. But also Johnny lives. I swear, Johnny lives at the gym. Like it's like I never seen where Johnny. Like I don't follow Johnny, but like on Instagram when they do that suggested people and all that kind of stuff. Johnny is always in the gym. So Johnny is. I think Johnny is probably more in shape than Chris is. To be honest with you, I think Johnny is way more in shape than Chris is because, like I said, Johnny seems like he just lives at a Planet Fitness somewhere. I don't know what the hell. So they go, and it's very interesting. Like it's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And something was happening like every time because Chris was able to like always go to his zone and ever stay in his zone. And then Johnny would pull out these like crazy moves where he's able to get him like at the very last second. So then they're like rolling around and doing all this kind of stuff. And then I think at the last millisecond, like Chris was in his zone, and then Johnny was able to pull Chris over to his zone, and then the timer ran out. Like it happened like in the nick of time. So I don't know if Johnny was strategically doing that because I don't know if they can see where the timer is, or I don't know if there was a timer that they could visually see, and that's what he was doing. But if that really was what he was doing, it was very good strategic wise. So now they have Johnny wins round one. So they're getting ready to go round two, and they notice that Chris is like shaking his hand and everything like that. And KK keeps asking what's wrong, and the camera zooming out and said, "Wait, don't tell me that he just got injured." And then he said, he broke his finger or like dislocated his finger or something like that. So the medic runs in there. This is Chris we're talking about. So the medic runs over there and checks his finger, and all of a sudden Chris is like screaming in pain and everything like that. They asked what happened. He said during one of those rounds when he had a grip of the weighted bag, and when they flipped, he twisted his finger, and he heard it pop out of place, and now he can't bend it. And I'm like, okay, man, can't you? But he could still use it though. But then again, like I've never broken a finger before, so I don't know how that pain feels like. And then with someone as big as Johnny too, like, and you got to go a whole nother round with this. Because imagine if Chris won the second round, so that means him and Johnny had to go another round, and he probably could have further injured it. So I was like, okay, I can't blame him, but I'm like, a little finger, can't you just wrap it up though? I don't know, or put a splint or something on it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure like when it came to that amount of money, I would have done something like something else, you know. So all of a sudden, Chris has to go out, and they come back, and apparently Chris is medically DQ'd, so he cannot continue. So by default, and because Johnny won that round, Johnny wins, and Chris is now dumped from the island. So both Chris and KK are now dumped from the island, which is crazy, crazy to me, because coming into the duel, like I knew Andrea was gonna win. I knew Andrea was gonna win, and I thought that Chris was gonna win. Like Chris was not doing bad; he was doing really, really good. So if he hadn't got injured, and if they went a second round, I think he would have done a little bit better. So yeah, KK and Chris are off the dump from the island. Andrea and Johnny get to stay. And then so we get Chris and KK doing their goodbyes, and Chris and Isaiah, they do a hug, and Chris says, there's no hard feelings, he doesn't hate him. Like, yeah, you're saying that now because you're going home, because weren't you just saying you're gonna be a whole different Chris? I'm just saying. But yeah, so and then KK and Nicola, they have a little quick chat, and she says she doesn't hate her. And I actually like believe it when it's coming from KK than I do Chris, if that makes any sense. So they end up hugging. If they, they do always do like a photo booth picture with everybody, and they do their goodbyes. KK and Chris do their goodbyes, and KK and Chris, and they are out of the villa. Which that's not bad that they're out of the villa, because they definitely were a threat to win this. So honestly, them leaving helps a lot of people. Now, I don't know who's gonna be like the second in command. It may be Justine and Josh if they're still gonna be coupled up and working together competitive wise. I just don't see Andrea and Toby, and mainly it's because of Toby going far. And I don't see Johnny and Andrina doing well going far, but mainly because of Andrina. So Johnny really has to carry Andrina on his back, and that's dependent if he wants to stay with her. That's what he's gonna have to do. Yep, y'all. But that was the episode. So before I get up out of here, you guys know I gotta do my tier ranking. So let's go ahead and pull that up. All right, y'all. So we have the rankings. We have Kendall, who is in whack. Now listen, I don't like Kendall at all, but I don't know. I take him out of whack because it's like, like I said, Kendall has not been bothering me this season. That's just crazy. But I just have a feeling he's gonna do something that's gonna piss me off. But that's why I keep him down there. But again, y'all, so I'm gonna keep it up to y'all. But no one has said anything otherwise, so that's why he's gonna stay right here. If someone says that it's about time we take Kendall out of whack and put him somewhere else, then I'll do it. But as of right now, he gotta stay right there. I'm sorry. I'll give him to the end of the week, to the end of this week, and then we go on to next week. And if he has still not pissed me off and he's still like, treating Garvey well, I'll consider moving him. But so next we have Andrea and Andrina. Andrina was doing too much crying this episode. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that throughout this whole during that round between her and between Tyra, between what's his name, Chris and Johnny. Shit, between Chris and Johnny, she was over there screaming, crying, talking about she about to throw up. Like, sis, why are you about to throw up? Now she acted like she was a basketball wife, but yeah, she was very, very mid this episode. Like, honey, all that crying, like I can't take it. Josh, who the fuck was Josh's episode? So Josh is going out of who? Because who was you this episode? Andrina, not Andrina, Andrea. Was Andrea cunt as fuck? No, she's going to the top of capable, but she could have been cunt as fuck if she ain't do all that crying and all that. You're my best friend, like fuck all that. Chris, Chris was doing like he was like doing a little bit too much, but he was gonna stay incapable, even though this is my last time putting him there. We have Isaiah, who Isaiah was like he wasn't like saying shit with his chest and nothing like that. So Isaiah was, even though he was like the power couple, he was very mid this episode. So he can go right here. Lucinda. Who was Lucinda this episode? Yeah, she going out here. Who was you? KK. She's always gonna be my cunt as fuck queen, even though she lost, but I still love her, so she's going up there. Nicola, I'm putting you at the bottom of capable because should I? No, no, because at least she was actually saying things. The only thing is like Nicola could have been cut as fuck if she would have said this shit with her chest, like her like doing all of that crying, but then she's a sweetheart. But her doing all that crying and then her saying that she rather it be her than KK or Andrea. Like, honey, we can't be doing that. You don't ever volunteer or say tell somebody you rather be in the position where you can go home. Like I hate when people do that. Then we have Tyreek. Tyreek was very mid this episode. Like, where the fuck was Tyreek at? So he's going down. And Garby gave good she gave good advice to these people. I love that she always gives the advice. So she wasn't mids, but she's gonna go to the bottom of capable. She just wasn't cunt as fuck this episode. So then we got the new people. We got Marvin and Sydney. Okay, now Marvin didn't do anything except he talked to KK, but now that KK's gone, I don't know who he gonna talk to. So he was mid because who I don't know who Marvin is. And Sydney, this whole like her been bringing her back so her and Isaiah can have this chat that they never had. Sydney was a ghost this goddamn episode, like literally a ghost, and she looks like one. So she going down to who too. So yeah, y'all, this is my episode rankings for episode 8. So then when I come back, I gotta remove KK and I gotta remove Chris because they are now out of here. But yeah, y'all, that was this episode. Before I get up out of here, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Continue to show love to my videos. Continue to show love to my channel. Again, I'm going to be here all season long. That's all I got for you guys this episode. And I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.